Dearly beloved friends and family, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Build. Today we have a very special guest. We have Edwin. We are coming back to the topic of Johor. Right, what are your common spendings over there across the bridge? We'll start with Peter, then we'll move down to Mr. Edwin's.
Nowadays, hardly have the time to go JB. But if in the past, if I were to go there, eat, definitely all your City Square, your KSL, the standard places. Then after that would be massages. Then once in a while, rare case, I'll be there for manufacturing projects lah. Just a bit here and there only. Other than that, it'll be more for leisure and skincare products. Because of the currency rate lah.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you. You're a global businessman. Never invite us along.
What, the manufacturing?
Yeah.
No, it was just a one-time off project that the project is based in Singapore,
Right.
but the manufacturing was done in JB.
You tell us more about that.
It was a container project. I mean, I wouldn't say the brand or which company, but it was a container project to reuse a cargo container into a resting facility / office for a specific company in town area. Yeah. Then the manufacturing, everything, the container together with all the renovation works were all done within Malaysia itself. I mean, a lot of people would think that, okay, because it's been done in Malaysia, assumingly it's supposed to be cheaper. But that is if you are doing in terms of proper manufacturing in an economy of scale, then yes, probably you can get it at a much cheaper rate. But if it's a one-time off, and the fact that they know that you are a Singaporean, right, especially with your phone number, they will naturally mark up. So at the end of the whole renovation, because renovation, we also have different scope of works. You have ceiling people, you have floor, you have your electrical. So everybody, once they know that, okay, this one from Singapore, everybody just mark up. Yes, you do get it at a slightly cheaper rate comparing to Singapore, but you're not exactly getting the full cheapest value that you're supposed to be getting. Then at the end, when the whole project finishes, you still have to count in terms of the transportation across customs or your permit issue, your trailer permit, all this all has to come in. And then all those also all cost money. So at the end, the amount of money that you spend just because it's in JB, supposedly cheaper, and now you actually don't really save much. Yeah, but then I mean that is for that one time off work-wise lah. Other than that, most of it is just massages lah. Or if not, because nowadays I'm into pickleball as well, so we do go over to JB and potentially over to KL or other parts of Malaysia to play with the community there in JB. Other than that, yeah, it's mainly recreational.
Yourself?
For myself, if I do go over across the causeway, like you mentioned, skincare, hair care products, because of the conversion rate is substantially cheaper, and medication, and then of course, since you're already there, you might as well just eat. But I wouldn't say that it is very much cheaper for eating also if you really want to eat the good stuff. Yeah. And of course, a massage there is much cheaper, but sometimes, a lot of the establishment feel a bit not so. Okay, I think you can cut this part. A lot of people go there for massage.
But the thing is, because JB, a lot of businesses right, are mainly targeting towards Singaporeans. So in one of the podcasts, I also mentioned that because Singaporeans, we always go JB with the mindset of 1:3. So we will always assume that it's actually cheaper for Singaporeans. But every time I go Malaysia, I try to put it in the perspective of the locals there. And if you think about it, if you don't assume that it's 1:3, right, we just take 1:1. Paying an average $17 for beef noodles in JB as a local, I would think is mad. And it's not say like Michelin or famous Japanese restaurant or a restaurant with a certain caliber. It's like you're just ordinary outside KSL kind of restaurant, and you're paying $17 for a beef noodle. And if let's say you go into those cafes or those hipster cafe, paying $9, $10 for a matcha latte, I think that's crazy. Yeah, then actually in terms of the massages and the food, yes, I would say they are slightly cheaper. Like if you go on a dim sum restaurant or this, they are significantly cheaper. But over the years, actually, you realize because of the fact that they are targeting towards Singaporeans, it's actually getting way higher. So by the time you actually convert everything, it's not exactly as cheap as it used to be in the past.
Yes, I fully agree on that. And not necessarily it's nicer also.
Yeah, that one I can agree.
Like, see, even massages, I mean, we always make Singaporeans, I would say, make use of the fact that, because it's in Malaysia and because it's cheaper, we always go for the 1.5 hour, the 90-minute one, make full use of our time and value there. But if you take based off from Malaysia 60-minute massage to Singapore 60-minute massage, right? Actually, you realize that they are more or less not very far from each other. I mean, yes, you do save that extra, maybe say $20, but it's actually not as drastic as I thought it would be. And Singapore massages, I mean, depending on which one you go to, not that I don't usually go massages in Singapore lah, but from what I see, if you walk past some of the shops, the prices of the massage for 60 minutes or this, actually, it's not that bad, Like maybe I think it's like 50 plus, $60+, which is almost equivalent to some of the outlets in JB itself.
It's free because I use CDC Well, okay in Singapore it's the short ones. So when personally me and my friend group, our peers, we go to Silver Thai. I think that is one of the best places, which I can personally give a 9 out of 10. The masseurs there are all quite capable and they can really twist your spine in a proper way. But I'm guilty. For me, it's 120 minutes, full body. Then sometimes you get private room as well. Yeah. So you can afford to spend more on these things.
Yeah, the 120 minute one, 2 hours for massage.
Yes. And then on top of that, I go for facial, clean your ears, manicure, pedicure sometimes. Food is not actually a very big thing there. It's more of a eat to live kind of situation. But if you look at it, what are the things that we are spending on over that bridge is, we should say wellness, healthcare, because we go to Dr. Gigi, right? It's so much cheaper than going to a dentist here. So we got medical treatments, we have experiences, we have wellness.
And a false sense of luxury, yes.
If you say so. The petrol there and the petrol here works the same way, it's just different price.
Yes.
But the thing is, we outsource these things in another currency. So with the Johor Special Economic Zone opening up, with the RTS opening up, and if we do see people moving over, do you think there will be a deflation in Singapore? Do you think our cost of living here will drop? I think to some extent it will. Because now we can outsource more things, for example, grocery shopping. Car ownership, you can forget about it. Just take the train, right?
I won't be surprised, right? Once the train service starts happening, and when everybody starts going over to Malaysia to get their essentials, their groceries and stuff.
Or even living there, per se.
Yeah, I won't be surprised, like coming back to Singapore with all your grocery stuff, your essentials, right? They're going to tax you on it.
No, but if you live there and you buy groceries there and you consume it there,
Yeah, then yes.
then there is a big possibility. Right? So do you foresee that we'll have a cheaper cost of living here in the future?
Yes. No, I don't think it will be a cheaper cost of living. I don't think cost of living in Singapore will ever drop, because we are not just looking in terms of Malaysia and Singapore. We are looking at everything in terms of a global aspect. It will never drop, but it will definitely affect first of all, the economics of Singapore, but it will also sabotage.
Correct.
Maybe.
Yeah. So Malaysia will have a sharp rise as well.
Yes.
I believe. Your thoughts on that?
I think this is a global issue. I think things will only get more and more expensive. Yeah. Because it's all interrelated and connected. And also the more people come and settle here, they are of a different net worth. So it's overall, I don't really foresee prices going down. People have been saying that with all the cooling measures, property prices should be dropping, but for the last couple of years, it's only going higher and higher. And if you look like maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago, GCBs based on the per square feet were very low because they were too huge. So a lot of people, it was not in such in demand. But now it's the other way around. It's getting higher and higher. Yeah, except for maybe Sentosa. Sentosa, because it's most of the properties there, I think, are not making money.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
No, GCPs in Singapore, there's only a handful. There's only a quantified number, a small amount of number only. Yeah, so I don't think the prices in Singapore will ever drop. But in fact, I'm not surprised that there will be more foreign companies coming in and making use of this opportunity, that now it's going to be even more convenient to do business. I mean, the fact that Singapore business, right, definitely want to have a lower cost of production. And first thing in mind is obviously either say Indonesia or Malaysia. So by having this RTS, right, potentially you are allowing other foreign businesses, right, to come in and tap into that resource also. So the ones that I don't think the middle class wise or even general citizens wise, right, will definitely benefit. But I believe this benefit, right, in some way may or may not be good for the government. That's why there may be a chance, right, you bring in all your goods, you're going to gonna tax.
But 100% because if we don't have, it's like we outsource our MRT construction to contractors who have tunneling experience, and then like locals don't get it, right? Like unless you personally, for example, you talk about farming, are really involved in it, right? You wouldn't find it very appealing to go and take up land there and start doing farming, right? So it does give middle class a hope to change industry once in a while. And like you said, the foreigner thing is definitely something you cannot run away from, because this major push is by the government and also EDB. So EDB won't be coming to us, hey, hello, hey, renovation contractor, I want to go to JB. Nah, it's not going to happen. It has to be something that we lack or something that is special, groundbreaking, I don't know, industry disruption. Of course, these will be the top picks, right? It wouldn't be just us ordinary citizens in, say, current industries going over? Because then it will have no meaning.
Recently, because I think throughout these 2 years ever since COVID, because of COVID, a lot of people's mindset shifted because of after reflecting on their life, on their career, a lot of things changed. That there was an article that with a statistic that showed a lot of Singaporeans were actually moving out of Singapore. Some even with even giving up their citizenship. So with this this RTS, right, yeah, it will end up becoming even more convenient for Singaporeans to potentially move over to JB. Even if we don't talk about JB itself, we talk about outskirts of JB. How far do we actually need to travel, and are people willing to travel the extra 40 minutes to come into Singapore, but at a much cheaper expense, living expense? So I believe there will be an increase in Singaporeans moving over.
I think based on current situation, a lot of people are thinking of that, but I think it may be more complicated because with all the things that Malaysia is trying to do, the investments that they're trying to bring in and to strengthen their ringgit, if it drops anything below 3, and based on current prices, I don't think it is that much savings already. Anything just slightly below 3 already doesn't really make sense already.
No, it depends on the currency rate.
Correct. So I think a lot of it is left to be seen how the economics of things will be, you see.
It's a high chance, right? It will strengthen.
They are
Very,
aiming to
very high
strengthen
chance it will
in fact.
strengthen.
That's why just a while ago it was 3.28 plus minus, and now it's 316. And left to be seen how else. And apparently they are bringing in a lot of foreign investments.
Can we speak somewhere else? The rupiah is 10,000.
But they're also talking about trying to remove that also so that there will be less millionaires.
Interesting. So what this means for potentially our clients is, yes, we do not know when or if there will be a deflation coming. And if you're looking for something or look to upgrade your space, right, I think we can focus more still on upgrading spaces. Not the whole thing, but partial. We design, we build for ROI and cost efficiency, improvement of layouts, operational efficiency, and for doctors, patient flow. Not just look good. I mean, everything has to look good. That's the baseline. But for us, we have to keep coming up with new ideas, keep being refreshed, keep up with the materials that are available or can be used in a new way, in a more cost-efficient way, to be able to achieve this new demand. So, for example, Edwin, you've been to Guangzhou. You know, people like Peter and I think we also want to go, but never really had a chance. So our eyes are not that open, slightly smaller than yours. So maybe you can share with us some of the interesting things that you've seen.
Well, basically, I think we also need to focus on how to get the aesthetics that are nice, but at a lower cost. So now a lot of people are going there to look for so-called furniture and all that. But of course, it's very subjective. There's a huge range. If you want very normal furniture, then a lot of them just buy from Taobao or something like that. But can be really good at a fraction of a price. And then for those people that always crave for some designer furniture, you can get the same look-alike in renminbi, same price but in renminbi.
So nice.
Yeah. So if you say cheap, it's not that cheap compared to Sing dollars. But if you say from a designer piece of maybe 10,000 US, you can get it for 10,000 RMB. And yes, I think so. There are people that are looking at that option. And of course, things like lights, you buy them online from China. If you get a reliable factory, I think you can get very nice, decent lights, even pendant lights it's a fraction of a cost. So for retail shops here also, I think it's a bit of a struggle how to compete in this. So I guess that's why a lot of people are trying to move into smart homes and all that to try and upsell ambience lighting, because it's not so easy to just buy everything from Taobao and then put it all together. So I think you can see that businesses are trying to move into more on the feeling aspects of things rather than just on buying an item.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, it's a known fact that designers or contractors earn commission from all these suppliers.
Yes.
Even though nobody's talking about it, but every client will know. And if let's say for furniture, all this, where we used to bring clients over to such showrooms, we earn commissions from that. But if let's say nowadays, given clients that they are very, say, tech savvy, they know how to source things all the way from China, other than your Taobao stuff. How do you think this would actually affect the industry in terms of what we earn as designers or contractors?
Personally, right, a lot of all these so-called commissions, right, most of the time I try to give it back to the client for myself, because I focus more on long term. We are more of a solutions provider, like I said earlier on, like a sort of a consultant also. So to help our client with the specific budget that they have to achieve as close to their dream as possible. And sometimes it means certain things like I would rather just earn based on what I should be earning, and then all the other items I can bring them to look for cheaper items, or even going to Guangzhou with my client to look for furniture to see how it will blend with their design. Yeah. So I do that also, and I don't charge for that also. It's also the whole experience of wanting the whole space to look better. Coming back to that, I would say like China is always coming out with new things that you don't even think of. And now I think there is a trend where even direct factories are trying to approach Singapore directly through TikTok and all that, selling their furniture. I think there are some Chinese companies also opening here, engaging private property owners, how they can just order customized furniture cabinets from China and then they install it here. And I think there's a trend. Even I saw like they are doing it for some high-end condos. I wouldn't say high-end, but at least I would say Orchard Road condos, where they install all these kind of customized cabinets from China.
I think we can look forward to a new opening in our industry where, like you mentioned, right, being like a concierge, right? Medical concierge, we have, I take care of your entire recovery period after you do your surgery, for example, in Korea. I book for you the hotel, I make sure you get food every day, I make sure you see the right doctor. I think what we can do right here is a furniture concierge, or maybe something along the lines, right? Oh, if a client is, say, looking to see new things and, of course, have a better buying power, we'll bring you to Guangzhou. Then we source the correct places for them, make sure the quality is great, curate, and then make the order, and then we all happily come back together. I think it's a new occupation we can create there.
I think there is a company doing that in Singapore already. But on my own smaller scale, actually, that's what I try to help my clients also. To help them to have cost savings to get the nicest possible thing they can get. Yeah.
Pete, will you be interested
To go
do a concierge service
for furniture?
for anything?
For everything.
Everything,
right? The whole
everything.
thing
Yeah.
related to the renovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe in like what you mentioned, long term service. So it's not just about okay, one time off, do the renovation, take the money, and then after that leave. But it's more of having a good relation. I always believe that clients should either start off as friends first, then become your client, or the other way around, client turn friend. So either way, right, in this sense, it should be having a layer of trust. Yeah. So it's whether there is a trust first, then the renovation comes, or renovation ready, and then they trust you as a person.
Trust is a two-way street. You can't always, sometimes you do your best, you still don't get the trust. I mean, everyone's got different criteria for trust, right? Like, for example, you did everything fine, but because of the little frictions that you go have throughout the entire process, yeah, this guy very nitty picky on that. He did this at that point of time, so I don't really like him, cannot really trust him, cannot be a friend.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have experienced that as well, right?
I mean, it's also how understanding, or there's this saying in Chinese, 对事不对人.
What does that mean?
So basically, if there's any disagreement or problem, you are dealing with that specific scenario and that specific problem, and not to the person. So you don't fight over who this person, or you hold grudge against this person, but is if this is the problem that we're going to face, we face it, we argue over this problem. Then after this argument or this problem is solved, we go back to normal. Yeah. So but it takes both sides to be able to have that understanding and agreement.
One side of it is, oh, you caused me emotional trauma, and then yeah, so very subjective also lah.
Yeah.
It really depends on the receiver. Yes. So if you're a built environment professional in Singapore, or you're an investor or a business owner, and you feel the middle class squeeze on you, now is the time to do something about it. So we would love to hear from you. Drop us a message, DM. We'll talk about how we can support your project, whether you're currently have a space, or you're looking to expand, or you're new. And please subscribe and share this podcast if you find it useful. And thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next installment of Behind the Build. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.